Okay, so I've just been crying because I watched the episode of Black Mirror entitled Hotel Reverie. If you can't tell from my shirt, it's because that's one of the gay ones. I watched Rowan Ellis's video. It's called like Unhinged Lesbian, talks about Black Mirror lesbian conspiracy. I'm not gonna spoil that video for you. It's really good. You should go watch it. But basically, she's comparing the two episodes of Black Mirror that have the like sapphic characters, because I do think Kelly was bisexual. I don't want to call them all lesbians, but like most of them are lesbians, I think. So we have in San Junipero, the first episode that they released, not the first episode, but the first of the lesbian episodes, the first of the sapphic episodes, I'll say. Again, because Kelly is bisexual. She was married to a man for most of her life. And then like near the end, he was dying. And they like after he died, they invented this like thing that you could put your consciousness into and then live in after you die. And so she's like still alive and they've invented it. Her husband's dead. Her daughter died too, I think. That's something Rowan mentioned in the episode that I don't remember, or in her video that I don't remember from the episode specifically, but I'll take her word for it. So she's like, I don't know if I really want to like spend eternity with my consciousness in this thing without my loved ones. But then one day in there she meets Yorkie, played by Mackenzie Davis, Kelly played by Gugu Mbatha Raw. So yeah, they meet like one time at a bar, and it's like in a simulation, so they can change like decades and stuff. They can choose where they want to go. And they have like 1 hour a week because they're just testing it out because they're still alive. And then it's like, do you want to do this once you die? Do you want to like go into this like place? So and then I feel like I'm just like kind of rambling. I don't know what I've like established as structure for what I'm gonna talk about, but basically, yeah, I watched Rowan Ellis's video where she compared this episode to the other episode, Hotel Reverie, that I just watched. That made me cry so much. Okay, I'll describe Hotel Reverie for a second, and then just talk about whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna ramble. Who cares? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like don't like to shave. I don't want to like spend my time and energy removing body hair, and then I like kind of feel self-conscious about it, and sometimes like in videos I'll try to like hide it and like put whatever. But I was watching a Channy Nicholas was on, and she had like a little tank top and like went like that, and she doesn't shave her armpits either, and nobody fucking cares. Like, okay, get over it. I mean, if you do care, get over it, and me, get over it for like thinking that people care. Anyway. So yeah, in Hotel Reverie, basically, so we have Issa Rae playing Brandy Friday, which I thought was a weird name, and I was like, I wonder if they're like trying to reference something, but like I can't think of like an actor with like a last name that's a day of the week, so I was like, I don't know. God, my eyes are so I was crying so hard. Yeah, like there's someone downstairs who like came up and was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm watching a movie, and they're like, oh my god, I was worried. Anyway, so yeah, and then we have Emma Corrin who plays Dorothy. Dorothy is okay, it's kind of like complicated. Hopefully you've seen the episode. If you like, I'm not gonna like spend a lot of time going through the whole plot. But basically, so there was a movie made along like an old movie, black and white. I don't know what year, it's like 1950s-ish, let's say. Just for the sake of this video, I don't know if that's true. It's called Hotel Reverie. And Dorothy is the actress who plays the main character, Clara, in that movie. And then there's an actor who plays the main, like, the lead man, Alex. He's a doctor. So the plot of the movie is like, these characters are at a hotel, they're like in a restaurant. Clara's walking through the bar area, she's trying to sit down, there's like one empty seat at this big table. She's like, do you mind if I just sit here? And then I think they say no. And then the guy Alex is like, hey, I have an empty seat, you can sit here. And so they start talking, they meet. Then in the movie, I guess, like, Clara's husband is trying to kill her, which is, okay, not why I said that. Okay, Clara's husband's trying to kill her in the movie. So they try to poison her drink. They give her, like, a rose martini. And then, so, they want to, that's their plan. They're gonna poison her martini. And so they're doing that in the kitchen, but they're talking at the bar, Alex and Clara, and she says, like, looking at a piano unplayed. I'm at my piano right now. It's being unplayed. How melancholy. She says, looking at a piano unplayed makes me feel so melancholy. And he's like, Alex is like, what if a pianist walked in here right now? What would you want him to play? And she says, Clair de Lune. And he's like, if it's Clair de Lune you want, it's Clair de Lune you'll get. And he goes over and plays it. And it's really beautiful. And she gets touched and she goes outside. So the drink comes to the table. She's gone. She doesn't drink it. There's another lady there, like an old French lady with her dog. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get so into this plot. Anyway, she's there with her dog. The dog's name is Bonbon. It's a little, like, fluffy boy. And, yeah, I'm holding my laptop because I watched it because Rowan Ellis talked about it in her video, and this is how she was, like, at a lesbian wedding, and she's like, I had to come up and talk about this, and she's, like, holding her laptop looking at notes, so I'm, like, copying. Okay, I'm not at a lesbian wedding, though, unfortunately. So anyway, she has her little dog, Bonbon. He's a little tiny boy. She's like, Bonbon can't go on the floor. Oh, that's why she can't have that chair. Clara can't have the chair because Bonbon needs it because he can't sit on the floor. Yeah. So, okay. In the original movie, Hotel Reverie, that's where we're still at. All right. It's so complicated. I'm like, how did they write this? Anyway, it's probably not that hard, but okay. So yeah. I guess in the original movie, that, like, old French lady accidentally, or not accidentally, like, she sees that the drink is left unattended and drinks it, and then she dies, and then that brings, like, a detective in to the hotel to, like, investigate her death. And then the doctor, Alex, the lead in the movie, the detective keeps sneezing, and he's like, I'm a doctor, I think you're allergic to your cologne. And so he, like, recognizes him later in a scene that's, like, very crucial. So I'm gonna stop there for a second and go back to Brandy. Brandy is an actress in the modern day. She's, let's see, she's kind of, like, frustrated with the roles that she's getting assigned. She feels like she's being stuck in a box, and she wants to, like, branch out of that. And so she hears that this like, studio's trying to redo Hotel Reverie, and she's like, I want to be the lead role. I don't want to be Clara, I want to be Alex. Like, and then, like, one Aquafina's in it with a very, like, normal white sounding voice. Anyway, whatever. She doesn't have a black scent in it, and I just think that's interesting. I shouldn't say white sounding, I guess, but, like, whatever. Yeah. So, moving on from Aquafina's black scent. Yeah, she's in there, and she's like, oh my god, that's a great idea. Like, she's the one who decides, yes, we're gonna do that. And, like, the point of it's like an AI company, and they're gonna, like, make the movie real, and then they put a little thing on Issa Rae, Brandy Friday's, like, temple, and it, like, puts her consciousness into the movie. So, like, all the people in the movie think that it's real, and, like, Issa Rae just has to say her lines. That's what Aquafina keeps telling her, because, she gets this packet that tells her, like, what's gonna happen, but there's this little USB that she's, like, obviously supposed to look at, and it falls. She doesn't see it, so, like, as she's opening it, it just, like, falls on the floor. She doesn't notice, so she gets there, and Aquafina's like, I don't know what her character's name is, Kimmy. Yeah, that makes sense. She was saying it a lot. So, yeah. The USB thing falls on the floor. She doesn't know what's going on. So Kimmy's just like, just say your lines. We're just gonna like go through the movie. Just say your lines. Everything's gonna be good. You're a good actor, right? You'll get through it. Like, it's gonna be weird because she's like literally in it. She's like experiencing the time like as the movie is showing it, so it's like she's experiencing the time cuts and like the jumps and like everything's in black and white for her, and it's just like it's very surreal, you know. Okay, so they're going through the movie. Issa Rae starts like being okay. Before that, she also looked up a video of Dorothy's like audition for the role, and you see her like smiling. She's like, oh my god, she's like so cute. She's like attracted to her. Gay. Anyway, so like you see her like she's holding a newspaper like sitting at her table. His table, it's Alex. She's being Alex, and like Dorothy's walking by and she's like staring at her, and then Kimmy's saying she has her earpiece in so Kimmy can talk to her. Kimmy's like, stop staring at her, because she's supposed to like follow along with the like shot for shot for the film. So that, yeah, that's basically what they're doing. They're just remaking the film by putting her literally inside of it, and having her redo his lines. Everything else is the same, I guess. I think that'd be a really boring remake. But this was really good. It came out really good. I cried so much. So yeah, so they start talking, but Issa Rae, when she goes to play the piano, Claire de Lune, she can't play piano, and Awkwafina's like, I thought you, like, she mentions when they meet, before filming, she's like, oh, I saw you in, what was it called, Zodiac, hi Wasabi, in a movie that she was in before. She's like, you played piano in Zodiac. Hi Wasabi. I'm gonna move my laptop so you don't keep stepping on it. There we go. Yeah, she's like, you played piano in this other movie, so I thought you could play piano. She's like, that was a backing track. And so she's playing just really horribly. And so Clara's still sitting at the table. She's watching her, and she's like, she just doesn't feel like moved by the music and get up and walk out like she's supposed to in the movie. She's just sitting there. So the poison drink comes at the table. Issa Rae has to, not Issa Rae as the actress, Brandy as the actress has to improvise, because they have to keep her on story. They have to, like, she's supposed to go outside, and then they're supposed to have like an emotional talk. So it's like, we have to get back on track. And so she sits down and she's like, I guess I'm out of practice. And they start like kind of joking about it. And Clara's like, yeah, it seems like it. It's like, she manages to like save the situation and like get Clara back into her. And there's like a guy sitting in like the studio watching. There's like a couple people. One of them's like the story, like script supervisor, like reading out all the like the cues and stuff as like we're watching it, so like we know, not we as the audience, but like so that everybody knows, like everybody working on it knows what's going on, like where they are. There's like a tech guy, and yeah, Rowan called it like the Chekhov's like computer or whatever, Chekhov's machine. Yeah, Issa's like, not Issa, Awkwafina's character, Kimmy, walks up to the tech guy, and she's like, I told you not to, or no liquids by the tech, isn't that your mantra or whatever, your rule or something? And so it's like, okay, obviously something's gonna spill on the tech, okay? I thought that was really funny. Go watch Rowan's video and see what she actually called it, because I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, so the story gets off track, and Brandy Friday has to keep coming up with ways to fix it, because so what happens is she doesn't want Claire to fix, or Claire she doesn't want Claire to drink the poison, obviously, and so she dumps it out. Like she's like, oh, is that a goose? And Claire's like, what? And then she dumps it out in the plant behind her, and then she's like, oh no, never mind. And then Claire's like, was there really a goose? And Brandy, I keep wanting to call her Issa, but it's not. Issa as Brandy is like, no, there wasn't a goose. Or she says, yes, there was. And then she's like, no, there wasn't, I was joking. And then Clara looks down at her glass and she's like, oh, it's empty, like I guess that's another one of your jokes or whatever. But then like, yeah, she manages to save the situation again somehow. She really pulled it out of nowhere. And yeah, so that little dog Bon Bon comes by later and drinks the poisoned cocktail like off the like planter. And so that messes with, like, that doesn't bring the detective over because it's just a dog that died, because if dogs don't matter. It's just a dog that died, not a human, so they don't have the detective, so he doesn't come, and then the Dr. Alex doesn't diagnose the detective's allergies, like allergy to his cologne because he was sneezing. So it's like then later in the scene where like it's kind of hard to tell what's happening, but like there's like two people kind of like, one has a gun, and then there's the detective. He's like, oh, that man, I recognize him, he diagnosed my allergies. So it's the other guy. It's like, what's going on there? So we know like if that detective doesn't come and she doesn't diagnose his allergies, then she's gonna like get shot later in the movie. And like there's somebody who like has the movie like projected out, like the computer's like detecting how close the story is to the movie, to like what's going on, and somebody can see like the effects of like the current storyline projection, like if they don't change anything, what's gonna happen, and they see like Brandy getting shot. So they're like, okay, we gotta figure out how to close this plot hole. So then I think that's when the spill happens. The spill happens, they get frozen in this little like thingamajig in the simulation. Dorothy / Clara, and at one point, oh yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit before they, yeah, okay. So yeah, Clara's like running down a hallway, she's running away, and Alex goes and chases her, and she calls her Dorothy. I don't remember why, okay, you'll just have to watch the show. She calls her Dorothy, and like Clara / Dorothy is like, why did you call me that, you know? She's like, Brandy improvises, she's like, oh, you just reminded me of somebody that I used to know. And Clara asks, like, what do you mean? Like, why do I remind her of you? Why do I remind you of her? And Brandy says that she was like, she had a very good life, and like most people probably thought she was really happy, but inside she was. And then Clara fills in for her. She says blue. So it's like, because so Brandy was doing some research before the filming, and she found out that the actress who played her, Dorothy, I just said her name, Dorothy Chambers was her full name. Dorothy Chambers killed herself eventually. So she was obviously like she's an actress, a Hollywood, you know, star. Everyone probably thought she was like she had such a glamorous life, and then she killed herself. So that's, she like pulls from that, because she knows that if like Clara remembers that she's like an actress, Dorothy, playing her, then it's gonna like break the simulation or whatever. And so she like fixes it. She like saves the day again. She's really good at it. Oh my gosh, hi Wasabi. Yeah, so then there's like, okay, basically, what am I even talking about? I was crying so much from it, and I wanted to talk about it, and now I'm like getting into the plot, and it doesn't even matter because I just wanted to talk about like lesbians, because like so yeah, anyway, then there's like a scene where the husband tries to kill Clara again. He sends a scorpion in like a room service up with champagne, and then they like let a scorpion in the room while it's not really room service, it's one of his like henchmen. And yeah, then there's a scene where Clara like falls on the stairs and she like twists her ankle, and then Dr. Alex helps her. He like brings her up back to her room and is inspecting her ankle, and he's like touching her foot, and he's like, how's this? And she's like, that feels fine. What about higher, you know? And so she like moves her leg up and moves her leg up, and then the champagne comes. And she's like, well, I didn't really order this, but I mean, I guess why waste it, you know? Champagne in a hotel with a stranger, why not, you know? And then there's the scorpion, and then Brandy saves her. She like puts a champagne glass over the scorpion, saves her. She's like, I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here, you know. And then they kiss, and then as they're kissing, that's when the guy knocks the tea or whatever, his drink, on the tech, and so they get frozen, and they're like the only two people that are awake in this like simulation. Everyone else is frozen. And so they go, it's like months and months, like the calendars just I think he said they had like 6 or 7 hours for every second that we had, and it took them kind of a while to like fix it, like a couple of, I want to say an hour, because it's not even an hour long episode, you know, but anyway, it takes them a while. So they're in there for a long time, just the two of them together. They're like falling in love, you know, like they're already falling in love before that, and then they're like the only two people. So obviously it starts off a little bit like shaky, because Brandy's like, Kimmy, she's trying to get in touch, like she's still like thinking she's just in the movie, but Clara's like, this is my real life, you know, and I'm like really falling for this person. And then so like one day like she kisses her, and then like everything freezes, and then the girl that she kisses is just like, Kimmy, what are you guys, where are you guys? And she's like trying to get in touch with the like people in the like room where all the equipment is, and like Clara's just following her, like, who's Kimmy, who are you talking to, tell me what's going on, why is everyone frozen, what's happening? And like yeah, Brandy's like not really answering her, and then they're like kind of fighting. And then obviously they like make up. Brandy tells her what's going on. She's like, this is all a movie. You're an actor named Dorothy Chambers who like played this role. Clara doesn't like that. She gets upset. She storms off to her room, and then later Brandy comes by and is like, hey, sorry. She gets mad too. She's like, sorry for yelling at you, but this is what's going on, because she was obviously confused. And Kimmy had told her about the like plot hole situation, and like if they don't solve the plot hole, she's probably gonna die in the movie, and like if they don't get to the end credits, like she's probably gonna be stuck in there. So she's like, I could die, and like all this stuff. Anyway, then yeah, they make up, they fall in love. They're like in there together, it seems like months. I don't know, I wasn't really checking like what exact days were going by on the calendar, but there were a lot flashing by, and little like montages of them just spending their time together, and it was very cute. And then at one point the tech guy like fixes it, and he's like, okay, so we're gonna reset back to where we left off. So that was the kiss after the scorpion. And so Clara forgets everything that they went through, but it's not really that big of a deal, because she was already like falling in love with her anyway, like as Alex. So she still like has those feelings. But I guess there was a scene when they were out of the simulation, like everything was frozen. Brandy said, I wonder if you only love me because Clara was written to love the person that I was when we met as Alex. And she's like, but you're not Alex. And so like, I guess like once they go back to the simulation, then it's like, she only loves me because I'm Alex. Like, so that's sad. But like, she still loves her. So okay, so they kiss, they wake back up. Clara lost her memory. Brandy still has hers. Clara sits down. She's like, I'm a married woman, I shouldn't be doing this. She's like, you should leave. And Kimmy's like feeding the lines to Brandy, because she's just like just frozen. Like, I can't imagine like just like having this whole like love affair, and then just suddenly like going back in time and like being right in front of the other person and like knowing that they don't remember it, and they're just like, I need you to leave. She's like, I don't want to. And that's not the line. Everyone's like, that's not the line. They're all freaking out in like headquarters. Yeah, anyway. I don't have a point to this video. I'm just going through, okay, we're just gonna keep going through the plot, I guess, and then I guess I'll talk about why I was crying so much. So yeah, long story short, if you want to know more details, go watch it. How about that? Long story short, they fix the plot hole, except Clara is like awake now, and she's like in love with Alex, and like she has more agency. And so instead of like the final scene, okay, the last scene, her husband was trying to like get her killed by, he has someone loose in the balcony. He's like, I'm gonna invite her up to the balcony and like push her off. And then Alex goes up and stops it. In the movie, that's when there's like this like fight, and then the detective comes in. He's like, I recognize that man. He diagnosed my allergy. So then they arrest the other guy who was like obviously trying to kill his wife. And then so in the remake, Clara doesn't know that the allergy thing is coming. So she's just like, she sees like Alex and her husband, and like her husband's trying to kill her, and then her husband starts trying to kill Alex, and she shoots her husband because he's trying to push Alex off the balcony, and she loves Alex. She's gay. And so yeah, she kills Alex. So the cops hear the gunshots, and they're like, they come over, and Brandy's like, if the cops come, like, what'll happen? And it's like, she asks Kimmy, she's like, it'll, like, she'll go to jail, like, and Brandy's like, how long? And Kimmy's like, well, from her perspective, forever, but who cares? She's not real. We have to get you out of there. Say the final line. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this, like, when she says the final line, which is, like, a romantic, I'll be yours forevermore, I think, could be, like, slightly off from that, but yeah, she's like, I'll be yours forevermore. Once you say the final line of the movie, then the credits roll, and then we can get you out of there. That's like, because Clara, when she called her Dorothy, Clara kind of like developed this like extra layer or something, and that messed with the system, and so they couldn't use the exit protocol. I love when they like make up tech stuff to like justify the story. It's like, none of this means anything. Anyway, it's good stuff. Yeah, so where was I? She's like stuck in there. Clara ends up, she doesn't know about the allergy thing, so when the detectives come in, like the cops come, she thinks she's gonna go to jail. She like shoots one of them, and then two of them shoot her, so she ends up dying. This is what I want to talk about, I think, the dying part of it all. Yeah, so she dies. Brandy's like holding her as she dies, and then she says the final line after, like, they're like begging her, she's like dying, they're like, say it to her while she's dying, but she doesn't. She's like, no, I don't, because she doesn't want to leave her. She doesn't want to say the final line and leave the movie, and then she dies, and then she's like, she's crying really hard. It's like, I'll be yours forevermore. And then the movie ends. She goes back to real life. She's like very depressed. Anyway, I just like, I was crying so hard because I was just thinking about like the kill your gays trope, and like, I don't know, I just like, anyway, I've been watching a lot of Nikki, the interventionalist, recently, and she just like sits there and talks about like being gay and stuff, and it's like, so I just love watching them, so I'm like, I kind of want to start making them, so maybe this will be my first one. But yeah, it's just like, it just made me cry so much because like I'm like all over the place right now, but yeah, I also did have a little bit of wine. Cheers to that. To the world we dream about and the one we live in now. Okay, yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, so the kill your gays trope, I just like have never seen myself represented in media. It's like so hard, and like it took me so long to like realize that I was gay and like recognize that and like accept that and like stop going back, because like I would keep like convincing myself, I'm like, oh, this guy likes me, maybe I'm bisexual, like the girl I like doesn't like me, maybe I should like just move on, try to date somebody else, and like this guy likes me, I might as well try, you know. And like I didn't really like I remember looking at that guy that I'm talking about, me like looking at his lips and be like, do I want to kiss him? No, not really, like I'm not attracted to him. And then like whenever he asked, like he basically invited himself to hang out with me, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then it like became a date, and then like we were like boyfriend and girlfriend. But yeah, I was like basically in love with my best friend the whole time anyway, and I wanted something to talk to her about, and she kind of, I don't know, in my perspective, like centered her life around men, and like so I was like, if I have a boyfriend, that's something I can talk to her about anyway. Yeah, it's so like it's so hard to find good lesbian representation, you know. That's, I think that's all I was crying about, is like it's just like so hard. And then like yeah, Rowan Ellis's video, and I don't remember if I talked about this or not. There was a Tumblr post I saw. It was a master post of like shows and movies where lesbians are in it and they don't die. And that's where I first saw, like, I think I watched like one season of Black Mirror, and I was like, it's kind of like not my vibe. Like, I don't know, I like it was interesting, but I think I was kind of depressed. And I remember seeing a tweet or something that was like, something my therapist said was like, stop watching sad TV. Like if you're watching if you're watching something like as an escape, it shouldn't be, and you're like depressed, you should try to watch something happy to like take you out of that state, you know, like, instead of just like watching more like more like dark depressing stuff to like keep you in that state. Sorry, I got a text and it was about dinner, so I had to respond, otherwise I would never eat. Okay, yeah. Okay, one thing I did see that I thought was really good was Mae Martin. Let me like look it up while I'm talking. Mae Martin, it's on Netflix and it's really good. It's about like Mae Martin's character. She's a stand-up comedian and she's like doing a performance, and there's a girl in the audience, and they're like attracted to each other. They start talking and then they kiss. Okay, I think I figured out what I want to talk about. Crying, like just crying during that's not what okay, I'm like typing crying in. I'm supposed to be typing Mae Martin. Crying during like watching media, like watching movies and TV shows, like what makes you cry, because I remember like I remember this so well. Like I went to see Click with Adam Sandler, and I think I was with my grandma, but like definitely my sister, definitely my cousin. I have two cousin Nicoles. One of my cousin Nicoles was with us, and so we went to see Click, and okay, they were sobbing. Like I was just sitting there watching. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's kind of sad, I guess. Like his life kind of sucks because he, like, if you haven't seen Click, he has this like universal remote. I accidentally brought the remote from, I was so hyped from that Black Mirror episode, I just brought the remote into my room for no reason. This isn't where the TV is. He's a universal remote where he can control things in his life. So he can like point to a barking dog and like turn down the volume, or he can like, I think in the trailer they do stuff where they like there's a jogging woman and he like kind of slows her down so he can like stare at her boobs and stuff like that, and he like tries to skip over foreplay and just get to the sex part, but like the remote takes over, and like once he skips the foreplay then it skips the sex too, and then like once he skips one thing it like skips more and more and more, and then he'll like press fast forward for like one thing, and then he'll wake up like 10 years later and he's like, my life is completely different. Like he he gets very like fat, and like he gets a divorce, and his kids don't care about him because he was like kind of absent for all the like boring stuff in his life because he would want to fast forward it and get to the exciting stuff. And so like none of his relationships are like meaningful or anything, and like I think he ends up dying, and his kids, I don't know. It was a long time ago, and I've seen it since, but I don't remember it that well. But anyway, I remember like my sister and my cousin were like sobbing at it, and I was like, I just felt so weird. I was like, why am I not reacting the same way that they're reacting? Or like, I think at the time I was like, they're like way overreacting to this. But like the more I've lived and like experienced and like watched movies and TV shows, the more I realize like I just like I don't feel like an emotional connection. I don't feel like when I watch, okay, I was gonna say the Titanic because it's like the first like sad movie, but like I remember watching the Titanic. The only time I've seen it is like when I had a boyfriend. He would tell me all the time, he's like, you haven't seen this movie, we have to watch it. And then like we'd start watching it, and then he'd like start like touching my leg. Oh, he does. And it's like not like I ever initiated it or anything, but anyway, I was like, okay, whatever, like I don't really care about this movie, I guess. It's kind of boring, so whatever. Yeah, anyway, so that's like the only time I've seen Titanic, so I don't really get like a full, but like there's a lot of times when I'm watching a movie and I just like I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, this is a very like sad movie, this movie made me cry, and I just like don't feel that. And it's like when I watch I think it's called Do Good. I forgot to actually, I looked up Mae Martin, and then I got another text about dinner that I had to respond to. Mae Martin, IMDb, I think it is called Do Good. I'm sorry that I can't edit this. Feel Good. It's called Feel Good. So like it's kind of based on her life because she's like dealing with addiction and stuff in the show, like dealing with like starting a new relationship and like recovery. Same. I was like, they both start with R. Kind of similar words. Okay, yeah, so I watched that, and I like rewatched like the scene where she's like, after she's doing the stand-up comedy in like the first episode where she meets the like main love interest, and they're like flirting, and then they like kiss, and I watched that and I was sobbing. And like I don't cry during like straight like scenes, and like oh my god. Love, Simon. I remember seeing the trailers for Love, Simon and being like, I want to go see this with like all my gay friends. Like that would be so fun. And then I think like a lot of people were kind of making fun of it online because there's this scene in the trailer which is like not a real scene that actually happened. It was like a fantasy scene in the movie, but like I thought it was real based on the trailer. And there's like all these like straight people coming out to their parents as straight, and I was like, oh, that kind of killed it for me. But yeah, that turned out to be like a fantasy in the trailer. Like imagine if straight people had to come out. And so like I'm glad that I did end up going and seeing it, and it made me cry. Like I was crying the entire like second half of the movie. So sad. Also 8th Grade by the Bo Burnham made me cry a lot too. Anyway, unrelated. That's unrelated to being gay, I think, but yeah, Love, Simon made me cry so much. And yeah, San Junipero probably made me cry. I don't remember specifically. Hotel Reverie made me cry, but like straight movies, I can't even think of one that like I'm like emotional about. Like I remember really liking Definitely Maybe, but I think that was more because I had a crush on like Isla Fisher than anything else. So yeah, like I just, I don't know. I guess that's my main point of bringing this up, but if you haven't seen those episodes of Black Mirror and you're gay, you should. I'm not gonna recommend any other episodes, to be honest. It's not my vibe, but those episodes definitely had an emotional impact on me. I have seen like 2 seasons, or like I didn't watch the Miley Cyrus. Like Miley Cyrus was in a big episode, and I was like, I don't think I want to like get into this whole thing again, you know? Like I think I watched 2 seasons because the first season I was just curious. There's like the first episode, it's like the prime minister like fucks a pig, right? And then there was like a whole scandal about like someone fucking a pig. I don't, it's kind of fuzzy now, but like I'm sure like once I say that, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, like I remember that. But like yeah, that happened like in real life, and then so like I guess I was like watching it maybe because of that, or maybe I just thought of that when I was watching it, because I watched it like after, like the episode came out before the scandal where that actually happened, and then I was watching it after, so I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So I was like, let me see, and then season 2 came out. I didn't watch it until I saw the Tumblr post. I was like, here's a master list of episodes and movies of lesbians that like don't die because of the kill your gays trope. Have I talked did I talk about this? I filmed a little bit before, and then I decided that like I didn't like the angle or the lighting, so I changed, and I like don't remember what I said before I started, like before the cut, so sorry if I didn't explain something enough, or sorry if I explained something too much. I probably either thought I talked about it already or thought I didn't talk about it yet in this version. And sorry that the light is behind me and I keep moving out of it. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about like being gay for a little bit and some gay media, and I have like 2 other YouTube channels that I like when I do music, when I do astrology. I'm thinking of starting another one where I do crochet, but I wanted to do like one where I can just sit and like talk about stuff, maybe do video essays. I have a lot of ideas. Like one, I was reading Game of Thrones, like okay, so I watched the first episode and I found it like really confusing, and I was like, I don't know who any of these people are, so I was like, let me try to read the books and see if I can like figure out what's happening and then rewatch it, and that helped a lot. And also I was like, I feel like a lot of the sex scenes in the books are not as rapey as they are on the TV show. I feel like they really like did not need to do that for some reason. So I was like, I could do like a video essay about that, but that would take so long to like go through and read all of Game of Thrones, and then like I don't have the like storage space on my computer to like make a video essay like really about all of that. Like I would probably need to download the episodes and like the scenes and like all. I just don't have the capacity to do that right now, but that's like an idea that I have eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I was crying so hard, and then I went and looked in the mirror, and I'm like, my eyes look like I look crazy. So I don't like using the it's like ableist, but like I just look like I needed to sit down and make a video about why I was crying so much. But like lesbians really don't have enough representation, and that's a tragedy. There's so many tragedies in the world. That's one of them. There are many others that are probably worse, and I'm working on this one. I'm writing my own. I write some little gay sex scenes sometimes. Little gay romance stories. I only write when I'm like I feel compelled to or like motivated to, because I have like other creative projects going on as well, like that were more pressing. Like I got jumped on Valentine's Day when I so like that girl that I mentioned before that I liked, I think I mentioned, I said I had a boyfriend, and like I was secretly in love with a girl the whole time, I think, in this version of the filming. I don't know. Hopefully, well, now you have the context. So yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. It's like, I liked her. Well, now my brain's just gone like completely empty. I'm like, my dad's probably pulling up with the food right now. That'd be so nice. I'm gonna go check, hold on. It wasn't my dad, it was someone looking for my dad. It was like a solicitor, he's the homeowner. Anyway, yeah, gay stuff, the kill your gays trope, so bad. Lesbians need more representation. I'm thinking of making more videos. Also, I have other channels for music. I got jumped on Valentine's Day. That's what I was talking about, I think. Yeah. I was like, okay, so I met this girl. I thought it was love at first sight. Then she started dating this guy. I actually moved in with him and his brother because my mom was like kind of emotionally abusive, and everyone's like, every time I told a story, everyone's like, we need to get you out of there, like about my mom. 4 on the timer. Anyway, yeah, so it wasn't just me, like my therapist said that too, like that she was emotionally abusive. And so yeah, like now we're no contact, but yeah, so I moved in. I needed to get out of that place, like with my mom. So I moved in with, I was like, I want to see this girl outside of work. Living with her boyfriend and his brother is probably like the best way to do that. But they apparently only hung out once a week because he was a terrible boyfriend and he like never made time for her. And like there was one time that like she said her like check engine light was on and she was like, can you come and pick me up? And he was like, no, why don't you, like, you can just drive over here, like even though your check engine light's on, just drive over here. And I was like, oh my god, I would go pick you up anyway. It's like, I would do anything for you. It doesn't matter. And I did, like, we became friends later and I did go and pick her up. And then I was also dating a man, and then like we broke up, and she broke up with her boyfriend like right before my boyfriend broke up with me, and so we started becoming like really close at that point. But like she's still like, I lived with our ex-boyfriend now at that point, so it's like we can't like hang out at my place and like whatever. So, and like she lived in a situation where like she couldn't have people over very often either. So okay, I am gonna expand on this a little bit. She lived with her brother, and her brother said he didn't want people over, but he would invite his girlfriend over all the time. So she was like, he gets to invite his girlfriend over. You're practically my girlfriend, so you should be able to come over. I was like a little like gay, like secretly in love with this girl, and she's like, she just said, I'm practically your girlfriend. We don't talk anymore, so that didn't work out. But I don't think I was crazy to hold on hope for so long. That's my point. That's the point of this whole video, is that like I am not crazy. I'm not delusional for holding out hope that this girl liked me back for so long. I didn't know that's where it was going. No, that's not where it's going. I don't know where it's going. I think it has to end because I don't have anything else to talk about, because I already talked about episodes of Black Mirror and how much I cried about this stupid episode where freaking, okay, yeah, so Clara dies, not Issa, Brandy Friday says the line, she gets out of the movie, and then there's like this point where she like presses a button. I don't really like get what was happening, I guess, but at one point she's like watching an interview, she's just like going through life like depressed, like, which, you know, is how I felt after like this girl and I stopped talking. Just kidding. Yeah, no, it really was. I was really depressed. Not this girl, like a different girl. Like, I told her that I had feelings for her and she didn't respond, and I like went on a trip like through Europe, and I was just like so depressed the whole time. And I texted her like to tell her that I was like thinking of her and stuff, and that I like wrote like 5 songs about her. Like one night I was trying to sleep and I couldn't sleep, and I just like opened my notes app and I wrote like 5 songs, just like really like in less than an hour, and it was just like, this is crazy. Anyway, like I just felt so much. Anyway, and I still do, because I watched this episode, and then I cried, and then at the end she like calls and she's like, remember when I said she like looks up interviews of, or not interviews, but like the audition, she looks up Dorothy Chambers' audition for the Hotel Reverie role, and there's this like, she's like sitting at a table next to a phone, and she's like, okay, so when I don't know, she's kind of like awkwardly acting. She's like, oh, I'm waiting for it to ring. That's so silly. It's probably not connected to anything, is it? And then she picks it up. She's like, hello. And she's kind of just like waiting. She's like, it's so weird when there's no one on the other line, you know? And then that's when Brandy's kind of like laughing, like, she's so cute, you know? Like starting to fall for her. And then, yeah, so at the end, Brandy, it's not gonna go away. She presses a button, and then the phone in that video rings, and so she picks it up and she's like, hello, do I know you? And Brandy's like, you kind of do and you kind of don't, or something, like yes and no, probably simpler. yes and no. Just like, oh, how intriguing, you know? And so they're talking and then it ends. So, okay, the real point of this video is the only reason that I watched San Junipero in the first place is because I saw it on their Tumblr post with all the shows and movies about gays who don't die in the end, and they definitely die in the end because they're both old ladies and they both die and they both end up in the little like simulation thing computer they like get to live their lives happily ever after in the simulation, but they do both die. Like both of the women, their bodies die and their consciousness goes on to live in happily ever after. But both of the characters die in the end, and in this one Clara dies in the end, and I'm tired of people recommending stuff like, oh, this is like a good thing for lesbians, and then they still die. But I'm not mad that I watched it because Rowan Ellis, I feel like I said her name wrong, but okay, Rowan Ellis recommended it. I don't know if she recommended it. Her video, okay, I will spoil it at this point if I haven't. I don't remember if I said that I wouldn't spoil it in this one or the previous little video I took. Anyway, hopefully you're on track by now. God, this is a mess. Anyway, this is gonna be my first video. It doesn't matter. I'll get better. Hopefully I'll get a computer and I can edit these little thingies soon. But my computer doesn't have any storage left, and I tried to edit videos and it's like it can't save anything and I can't delete anything either. So it's like I don't have enough storage to like save anything or even like airdrop myself like videos anymore. But hopefully that'll change soon. Yeah, and then I guess I wanted to plug my other channels really quick because I got dumped on Valentine's Day, and I wrote some music about it, but like I did know that I was a lesbian before I met this guy, and like my roommate convinced me that we were like, she was like, you're only getting treated this way by men because you're expecting to, because I was dating two guys to like try to get over the fact that I was like secretly in love with this girl, and I like felt like I couldn't tell anybody because I knew that she didn't like me back. So I was like, I can't let anyone know. And so it was like just this like shameful secret that was just like building and building over years. Anyway, so then I dated a guy, and then he broke up with me, and then I dated another guy, and then he like, well, yeah, things ended with him after a while, like officially. There was like a long break, okay? We don't need to get more into it. And then there was like a third guy after that. I was like, I'm gay. Like, I don't need to try again. And then my roommate was like, actually, I think you're only getting treated this way by guys because you're expecting to get treated this way by guys. And you should, like, I met this guy, he's perfect for you. And then I like gave him a chance, and then he quote unquote dumped me on Valentine's Day. So we never made anything official, I'll give him that. We were never like boyfriend and girlfriend or anything, but like the way that we were like texting and stuff, like it seemed like he was into me, and then suddenly on Valentine's Day he told me he was like seeing someone else. He'd been seeing someone else for 2 weeks, and I was like, why did you wait till Valentine's Day to tell me that? Because I thought, like, I was thinking that we were gonna like maybe like hang out tonight and like things were gonna like whatever. Okay, great, thanks for telling me that, bro. Cool, man. God, anyway. But like also I didn't really like, there was already another girl that I met before that I was like, oh my god, like if I wasn't already in love, because my roommate had convinced me that like he was in love with me. And so I was like, if he's in love with me, then I have to be in love with him, because it's how love works. Like the man gets to decide who he's in love with, and then the woman just like goes along with it, right? She's like, he's in love with you. Trust me, I know these things. I'm like, okay, so I guess I love him too, or whatever. There's already another girl that I saw that I was like, oh my god, she's so pretty, and like maybe in another life if I wasn't already in this thing with this guy. So like, yeah. Not a gold star gay, unfortunately. It doesn't matter. That's like a meaningless term, I think. But like in a society where like gayness is like, you know, oppressed, like people aren't supposed to be gay, that's like bad and it's a sin and stuff, like of course it's gonna be harder to like experience being like a gold star gay where you like don't have the like experience of being with a partner of the opposite sex. So there's, I don't know, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, Black Mirror. I don't know what the point of this video is. Hopefully more things in the future make sense. Okay. Bye.